Hi, I'm Mike from MTF, and today we're going to show you two conversions on the Fuji MK zoom lens. These are really popular lenses at the moment. They're available in a couple of focal lengths. Today I'm going to show you the conversion on the 18 to 55. For both focal length lenses, the conversion is exactly the same. So the two that I'm going to show you today are for micro four thirds, which was the first conversion we did for this lens quite a few years ago now, and also for Sony FZ. So the micro four third will fit a number of different cameras. From Blackmagic and Lumix and what have you, and the FZ mount is specifically for FZ's Sony cameras, so they would be the F3, the F5 and the F55. So here we go. So the first thing we need to do is remove the E-mounts, which is on the lens. So we'll take the cap off. I mean, this is a really simple conversion. It's literally just a mount swap. So it's very easy. Anyone can do it. It literally is a question of undoing 4 screws and replacing the mounts. So here is the E-mounts. So we'll undo the 4 screws that hold that on. Right, so the 4 screws are out, so the mount should just lift off. Now, if it doesn't lift off easily, there are 4 set screws in the collar. So using a 1mm Allen key, you should be able to release the 4 set screws, and that should allow the mount to come out. The other thing to remember is that there are shims under the E-mounts, and whatever shims are there should stay there. So it's probably easier just to leave those in place. Make sure they're still lined up with the fixing holes on the lens. Now the micro four third mount, well, all of our conversion mounts for this lens comes as a kit. So this comprises of literally the mount and the cap, but also includes a set of screws. Now they're very, very similar to the ones that were originally in the E-mounts, but the ones we use have a slightly smaller head and are very, very slightly shorter, because we found that sometimes using the original screws, because the mount is thinner, the screws went into the lens a bit more, and sometimes they would bottom out, so they wouldn't tighten up properly. So if you just use the screws we supply, then it shouldn't be a problem. Orientation wise, on the micro four third mount, there is a location slot, and looking at the lens from behind, the slots should be at a 9 o'clock position. So just pop that on. That should just drop straight in. And as I said, using the screws that we supply, go. You might have to move it around just to find the position. Again, 4 screws to attach the mount, but we actually supply 5 just in case you drop one. So just a little tighten all the way round. That's the Micro Four Third mount cap. So that's converted to Micro Four Thirds. So in theory now, that should go straight onto the camera without any problems. We've got a Blackmagic Pocket 4K, which we've used for testing various lenses. And there we go. So now we're going to do a similar conversion from Sony E mount to Sony FZ mount. Seeing as we've already taken the E mount off, all we have to do now is just remove the Micro Four Third mount, because it fits on in exactly the same way. So it's the 4 screws. So that's the Micro Four Third mount off. So we're back to the lens as if we've just taken off the Sony E mount. So for the FZ mounts, the location pin is on the outside and sits at 12 o'clock looking at the lens from the back. So that should just drop straight on. And then using the same 4 screws. Again, the kit comes with the screws. So make sure those screws are tight. The kit also comes with a cap. So this is a 77mm push-on cap, which literally just goes on like so. We can just double check that this fits the camera. Here we have a Sony F3 camera. Now obviously it has a PL mount on it. This will need to be removed. So behind the PL mount is another lock ring. If you undo that, that reveals the Sony FZ mount. And with the location pin at 12 o'clock, that's attached. So there you have it. two conversions, one to Micro Four Thirds and another one to Sony FZ.